from New England Delta Dental Stadium in downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. It's the NHI Division I Baseball Championships. Hello everyone, once again, Paul Woodmansee alongside broadcast partner Dick LaFlamme. And Dick, I'm sure if you had polled coaches, players, administrators before the first pitch of the season, most, if not all, would have said that these two teams would have been in this game, and they certainly haven't disappointed.
Absolutely, Paul. They were the prohibitive favorites going in, and their records show, with Exeter coming into this game at 20-0 and Bedford at 19-1 with their only loss on the season. Coming in an eight-inning game played at Bedford. They lost 5-4. And it was a game that, by Coach Chapman's own admission, both teams played sloppy defense. And Bedford squandered some opportunities with runners in scoring position with none or one outs, and weren't able to bring that key home in the bottom of the seventh. Nevertheless, Exeter prevailed, and that's why they're the home team today.
And Dick, going into any tournament, we talk about pitching matchups, the importance of pitching depth, and it's no different in this tournament, but there's been a few wrinkles, most notably with the weather in the middle of last week that pushed all the games up to Friday. And then it really affected the strategy coming into this game today.
It certainly did, Paul. The expectation, if the games had been played on Wednesday and both these two teams were here, they'd have all of their pitchers on full rest. And then as it's turned out, since Jeff Mosso pitched 108 pitches on Saturday, he was above the limit that now requires 3 days rest. So he is the only pitcher on either team who is technically unavailable. And today's starter for Exeter, Morissette, actually did pitch 50 pitches on Friday. The starter of that game, Cleach, pitched 60-plus pitches. So they're both technically available. Morissette's going to start the game. We'll see how, if at all, having pitched 50 pitches under some stress in that game, how that affects him today.
Not to mention, for those of you that are not in New Hampshire listening to this broadcast, it is an unseasonably warm afternoon. Temperatures today in the mid-90s with a high humidity, a good 20 degrees above the normal temperatures for this time of the year. And Dick, I got to imagine that it's going to have an effect on the pitchers especially, and kids coming off of pitching 50 or 60 pitches 2 days ago. It's going to be interesting to see how it affects Morissette at the start of the game.
For sure. I think, most of us who love baseball would say this is perfect baseball weather, but it's what you'd normally be accustomed to seeing in the middle of the summer. And, of course, the high school season's played in the spring. So this is a change for them. I think in addition to the pitchers, we'll have to keep an eye on the catchers. Having to wear the gear puts a little extra stress. And, there's a lot of space behind home plate here at Northeast Delta Stadium. And that's something we'll have to keep an eye on.
And one thing we noticed when we walked in today is that Exeter, being the home team with the best record and the top seed, gets the dugout on the first base side, which is the sun dugout, and Bedford, being the lower seed, has the third base dugout, which is the shade dugout. And it's and I'm looking into the Exeter dugout right now. There is zero shade, with the sun setting down, late afternoon sun setting over the third base grandstand. They're not going to have any relief from this heat and sun.
No, and that's that's not something that was decided just for this game. That's the way that this particular stadium sets up. Home team on the first base side, visiting team on the third base side.
So the umpires for today's game have just broken up the plate meeting. The umpire is behind the plate today, Steve Drescher. The first base umpire is Mark Sherbino, and the third base umpire is Kevin Bolduck. A three-man crew, as is consistent with the past years for the NHI championship game. Dick, a little bit more about Bedford as they prepare to come to the plate to lead off the game. Coach Chapman has talked this year about how inconsistent their offense has been. I'm sure they're looking for, and we spoke to Coach Levine after the game on Friday, they're looking for more consistent production up and down the lineup.
Absolutely. I think that they lost the game to Exeter because they weren't able to to drive those runs in when they had the runners in scoring position. And they left quite a few runners on base during that game. And, when you put a runner at third base with less than 2 outs, it doesn't actually take a hit to get that individual in. So you really got to be able to put the ball in play. And we'll see if that becomes a big story today. Who can get the runners in when they're in prime position?
One of those opportunities in the bottom of the 7th inning, back in that game, Bedford down a run, bases loaded, nobody out, and they can only push across the tying run, and then eventually lost the game in 8 innings. And we talk about pitching, and of course what goes next is defense, and Bedford made 4 errors on Friday, and I'm sure, Dick, that's no secret that they can't do that in this game, expect to come out victory.
For sure, Paul. Defense, the old adage about pitching and defense wins championships. And the reality is when you make errors in the field, you put more stress on your pitcher. And it just kind of sets a tone. So let's see how the teams come out today. But I think I heard similar from the Exeter coach, or at least read it, I should say, in an article that he felt similarly that they can't afford to play the same type of sloppy defense that they played both against Bedford back in the regular season as well as on Saturday when they prevailed in dramatic fashion against Spalding to get here today.
Yeah, Bedford coming off a 3-1 victory over Dover on Friday. Well pitched, well played game. And again, Exeter with just a tremendous comeback victory to get here in the championship game. So we are ready to go. Leading off for Bedford, shortstop Joey Barrett. Morissette steps on the rubber. He peers in for the sign, and we're getting ready to get underway. And the first pitch delivered is a curveball inside for ball 1.
Always a tone setter. The first batter, important. Love to see him get on base as the offense.
It's a ground ball at second base, weakly hit. And Cleach up and throws over to Tom Polomis for the first out. So Barrett is retired 4-3. So 1 out, nobody on. That brings up third baseman Cooper Annabelle.
Well, let's see if Annabelle can take the momentum from making that fabulous defensive play to end the game against Dover on Friday. Take that into his at-bat today. He made an amazing catch in foul territory, tumbling over left fielder Matt Gilligan as he made the catch.
It really was one of the more outstanding catches I've seen in a baseball game. So here's a pitch from Morissette, is a strike on the outside corner, taken by Annabelle.
Obviously, the game's not going to be decided here in the first inning, Paul, but it should tell us something about how the teams have mentally prepared.
Here's the pitch, and it's high and away for ball 1, 1-1. Northeast Delta Dental Stadium, downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Here's the pitch, and it's swung at and missed, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Looks like Morissette was working up in the zone there, and he got Annabelle to swing at a pitch that was really a pitcher's strike.
He winds and delivers, and it's again up in the zone, 2-2.
Good patience that time by Annabelle, now with 2 strikes on him, so he's hopefully keep things compact and put the bat on the ball.
Winds and delivers, and it's strike 3, again up out of the zone to Annabelle, who chased 2 pitches up out of the strike zone. So 2 out, nobody on. That brings up first baseman Grant Levine. Levine, the junior first baseman, last year's Gatorade Player of the Year in Division I baseball, is already committed to play at Wake Forest. Wake Forest locked in a 6-6 tie this afternoon against Florida. First pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
You're just full of information, Paul.
I was actually watching that before coming here today. Here's the pitch. Ball outside. Morissette working very quickly. Getting the ball on the rubber back from the catcher and ready to go. Levine waves the bat. Morissette winds and delivers. And a curveball fouled out of play off the third base side.
If you recall, in Friday's game, his first at-bat, Levine crushed a line drive to right center field and actually drove in the first run of the game.
Here's the pitch, and it's strike 3 swinging up out of the zone. So Bedford batters have traced a couple of pitches up high to go down 1-2-3. So we played 1/2 inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left for Bedford. The score, Bedford nothing, and Exeter coming to bat. Dick, we talk about strike zone discipline and number 2 and 3 hitters for Bedford really didn't exhibit that half inning.
No, I'm sure Coach Chapman's not too pleased with that top of the first inning. You usually put your best hitters at the top of the order. And in that particular case, it was really a weak ground ball and 2 strikeouts chasing the high strike. And that may tell a little bit about nerves. We'll see if the same holds true for the Exeter hitters.
Yeah, Dick, you look at this lineup for Exeter, their top 4 hitters, Ball, Morissette, and Kyle Maurice. They're 3 kids that are all committed to play college baseball after they graduate. And then you have the number 4 hitter, Tom Polomis, who's led the team with 7 home runs this year. So their top 4 hitters really are really good. And it's going to be a challenge for Bedford to really keep these guys from any type of rally or consistent or consecutive hits. It's going to be a tall order tonight.
Absolutely. You start the game off, try to keep runners off the base and limit any damage. Polimus actually hit one of those home runs on Friday in that game, and it actually led to him being intentionally walked later in the game, or at least that's what we suspect was on the mind of the Spalding coach. And he ended up being the tying run. So that you can kind of get into coaches' heads a little bit in terms of maybe overreacting a little bit to a hitter hitting a home run earlier in the game.
Yeah, it's never, as a coach, I never like to put the tying or a go-ahead run on base, and that was a questionable move.
For sure.
So we're set to go here in the bottom of the first inning. It brings up Kyle Ball, the senior shortstop. Joseph Quintal, senior who will pitch at Fordham next year, winds and delivers, and the first pitch is on the outside corner for a strike.
Important here for Quintal to establish his fastball and get comfortable so he can use his secondary pitches.
Appears in for the sign, winds and delivers, and it's fouled back out of play. Quickly behind 2 strikes.
Quintal did get a chance to pitch in the quarterfinal game. He pitched 2 innings, so that was the last time he pitched.
Appears in for the sign, winds, delivers, and it's fouled back to the screen. And we noticed in that game, I don't know if it was have not pitched in a while, but or trying to overthrow, he appeared to be missing a lot high and away. But so far this game, he's right on the black. And there's a curveball hit down the shortstop, Barrett. He gets up, throws the first, and it's an out. It looked like Levine.
That was a bang play there at first base, and looks like Levine came out of his shoe, and but Barrett kind of double checked a little bit there, or double clutched, and made it a little bit closer than maybe it needed to be there.
I must say Levine might have got stepped on. We used to call it as kids a flat tire.
Yeah.
And the back of his shoe, and he's down at first base right now, reassembling his right shoe.
Yeah,
and he was looking in at the dugout after the ball went in, so I don't know if he did catch him or not, or if it just, I can imagine he came out of his shoe on a throw from the shortstop. Yeah. So he must have been stepped on.
Well, obviously there's cleats on the bottoms of those shoes, so
right.
That's not too pleasant to be stepped on.
So with 1 out, nobody on, that brings up the pitcher, Cody Morissette. Morissette, the left-handed batter. And Quintal steps out. All right, ready to go again. Quintal back on the rubber, looks in for the sign, winds and delivers, and it's fouled back out of play. Exeter in the blue uniform tops, gray pants. Bedford black uniform tops, gray pants, red piping.
Dark colors on a hot day.
I know, both teams. Here's the pitch, and it's inside for a ball, 1-1. Outfield shaded a little toward right. Moderate depth. Winds blowing in that direction. From left to right. Quintal again steps off the rubber. Taking his time, peers in, winds and delivers. And it's a ground ball chopped to first base. Levine, and he'll take it himself for the second out.
Fairly routine play, but nice jump to not let the sun affect him there. He's looking directly into the sun, and that ball chopped very high, and he actually had to look up to make the catch, but plenty of time to run over himself and tag the bag for the out.
So 2 out, nobody on. That brings up Kyle Maurice, the catcher. Maurice, transfer from Portsmouth High School, played last year, his junior year at Portsmouth. He looks at a ball outside. I would imagine that his family had moved from Portsmouth to Exeter to transfer.
I would imagine, because those types of moves are scrutinized.
And the pitch is in the dirt, ball 2-0.
He certainly has a prototypical catcher's frame.
He sure does.
He's got some really thick legs, and he's been a key part of their 20-0 record this year.
Here's the windup in the pitch, and it's fouled back out of play.
Yeah, I wish I did know that, Paul, in terms of the circumstances of the transfer, but the NHIAA stamped it, so we're going to presume it was all good. Above board.
Here's the windup in the pitch, and it's a curveball outside, 3-1.
Well, with nobody on base, it's you'd like to see Quintal actually challenge the hitter here. You don't want to be giving him a free ride at this stage and putting the runner on.
Quintal shakes, accepts the sign, and the pitch is in the dirt for ball 4. So a 2-out walk given up to Kyle Maurice. So 2 out and a runner on first base. That brings up the number 4 hitter, Tom Polomus.
As we mentioned, go ahead, Paul.
A tall right-handed hitter. Quintal sets and delivers, and it's ball in the dirt, blocked nicely by Zenzian. So after pounding the strike zone early in the first 2 at-bats, Dick, he's falling behind Maurice and now Polomus.
Yeah, he needs a strike in a big way here.
And the pitch is on the outside corner, a quality pitch for a strike, 1-1.
Very quality pitch, not just down Broadway there. He put it on the corner.
Quintal comes to the set and delivers, and it's a curveball driven to left center field, hanging up for Gilligan, and he gets under it for the catch for the final out of the inning. So Exeter strands the runner at first base. We've played 1 full. There's no score.
And Paul, I was going to say, Paul, that that is a perfect example of one of the differences of playing the both the semifinals and the finals at different ballparks. This outfield compared to a high school field's pretty cavernous. I suspect the ball that Polomus just hit would have been out of most high school fields, but Gilligan's got good speed. The ball was hit high in the air, provided him an opportunity to run under and make the catch. Probably he was in line with the 380 sign, maybe 350 to 355 out there, and well hit ball.
Well hit ball, and the dimensions here at the ballpark, like most baseball fields, stadiums, short porch down the lines at 326 and left, 306 and right. But then it goes quickly to deep left, maybe left center field. You want to say it's 380. Straightaway center field, 400. In right center, it is 353 feet. And as I mentioned, down the line in right, a very short porch, 306 feet, with a tall, what you would call that, Dick, faux brick?
Yeah,
fence.
It's got the padding underneath that is probably at a 10-foot level, and or at least a good 8 feet, and then that faux brick going another several feet above it. I recall when they were building this stadium, there's train tracks back there for one, and there were some issues with some toxins on the grounds, and it limited how far they could make that that right field fence. But by making it higher, they kind of change it a little bit.
And this is really a great venue to watch a baseball game. In deep left center and center field, you have the Hilton Garden Inn with a huge patio where people can sit out and watch the game and enjoy a beverage and have something to eat. And then you have the Sam Adams Bar and Grill in deep left. So really 2 excellent vantage points to watch a baseball game.
And given that this is a high school baseball game, the Sam Adams Bar and Grill is closed today.
So here comes Connor Collins to the plate to lead off the top of the second. The senior center fielder takes a ball high for Morissette. Connor Collins gets in, waves his bat, and the pitch is fouled straight back over our heads, 1-1.
So it'll be interesting to see if there's any change in approach. If Coach Chapman kind of remind everybody to try to lay off those high fastballs. Easier said than done.
Morissette shakes off the initial sign, and he throws a pitch, and it hits Collins just on the, looks like the uniform. So a leadoff hit batsman for Bedford.
Well, that's Connor Collins does have a reputation for getting hit quite a bit, and it's not because he's trying to get hit. It's because he holds his ground very well in the batter's box. In that particular situation, he didn't even have to feel the pain. That just caught his uniform, didn't even catch his flesh.
Steve Drescher, the home plate umpire, immediately called it. So here's the pitch to Liam Green, and it's high for a ball. So Dick, right away we see the first pitch to Green up out of the zone. He did not offer.
Good discipline, especially with a runner at first. You want to make this a quality at bat.
Morissette's delivery, and it's foul. That it's going to make the seats.
There is a fair amount of foul territory, especially behind the plate, and then it starts to kind of fade off, and then eventually, by the time it gets to the foul poles, there's very little room outside of the foul poles.
So Collins on first by the way of a hit batsman. Green back in the box. No score here, top of the second. Here's the pitch. It's a curveball over for a strike. So Green is now behind 1-2.
Now, Collins does have some speed over at first base, and he's taking a decent-sized lead.
And Morissette just kind of lobs the ball. I would not say that's his A move.
That looked a borderline balk. It was almost like two moves, which obviously there has to be fluid motion from the pitcher when they throw to
Morissette
first.
set and deliver, and Green goes after a high strike for strike 3.
That looked all too familiar for Coach Chapman. He's kind of barking some advice to the next hitter.
So 3 of the first 5 hitters for Bedford have struck out swinging on pitches up out of the zone. And that brings Masso to the plate. Masso pitched an outstanding game on Friday as the designated hitter today. First pitch to him is up out of the zone, and he does not offer. Ball 1. Collins at first, 1 out, no score, top of the second. Masso waves the bat. Morissette sets, looks over to first, and the pitch on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1.
You know, with Collins at first and the first baseman having to hold him on, and Masso being a left-handed bat, it does make for a larger gap between first and second base.
Masso throws over the first base, and Collins dives back safely.
Especially with the middle infielders, and you'll hear people call them pinched. They're closer to the second base bag so that they're in a position to get a double play should the ball be hit to either of them.
Here's the pitch, and it's up out of the zone, ball 2, 2-1. So Masso has been swinging a hot bat. Let's see if Coach Chapman elects to do anything here on an action count. Collins holds, and the ball is laced to straightaway center field. Center field Ben Malgeri goes back and makes the catch for the second out.
Again, a ball that coming off the bat looked like it had all kinds of potential, and it basically just became a fairly routine catch for the center fielder. Moved back into fairly deep left center field.
Well struck by Masso. So now with 2 outs and a runner on first base, that brings up catcher Connor Zenzian. Zenzian, the senior right-handed hitter, takes a ball low.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Collins running here with 2 outs to try to get a man into scoring position.
Yeah, especially if Zenzian goes behind in the count. Morissette looks over, steps off the rubber, looks over at Collins. Here's the pitch, and it's followed straight back. Collins was moving on the pitch.
It looked like another high fastball, which would have been putting the catcher in good position to throw down the second, but tough to say whether he'd have had that stolen bag or not.
Looks like whoever scouted Bedford for Exeter, or just from the last game, has realized that they like to chase high fastballs. Zenzian's ready, and the ball is outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Scoreboard showing 2-1, but I'm not sure. Correct. I think you might have it, Paul.
Morissette sets and pitches on the runners off, and ball hit to right fielder. That is Bobby Cleach. I'm sorry, not Bobby Cleach. He's the second baseman. But the ball is caught for the final out. No, wait a minute. He's saying he dropped the ball. The umpire is saying he dropped the ball. There's no one at second base, and the throw goes down to second.
Heads up play.
I did not see. I looked down to mark the scorebook to see who was the right fielder, and I don't know if he dropped the ball. He does have to maintain control of the ball. Right fielder is Cam Flanagan. And
yeah, I have to say, Paul, I didn't actually see the final aspect of it. It looked like a catch initially.
Sure,
and,
I thought the same thing.
And if he didn't, if he's trying to transfer it to his hand, he's not making a throw in that situation to be the final out of the inning. So he must have dropped it straight out of his glove.
Coach Kevin McQueen out asking for an explanation from first base umpire Mark Sherbino.
Well, while all that is going on, it was certainly a surprise to pretty much everyone on the field. Heads-up play by Zenzian, recognizing that no one was covering second base. Even though there was a throw, he was able to beat the throw, and now runners on second and third.
Yeah, we did. I know it's play-by-play guy. You tend sometimes to assume when a kid gets camped under a lazy fly ball that he's going to make the catch. But obviously, he either went to transfer the ball out or just dropped it and never maintained control of the ball. So McQueen is not happy with the explanation, and it's going to stay the same.
Well, we know that this game is going to eventually be broadcast on BCTV, so I'm going to be anxious to see exactly what happened on that play. I'm assuming the crack staff followed that to its end.
So that brings up the second baseman, Ryan Lee, with chance for Bedford with 2 outs, runners on second and third. And it's popped up on the first pitch, and that is going to get to the seats.
Good hustle by Maurice to get over to the screen, but there's a screen up there that would prevent him from even reaching into foul territory. That's the protective netting behind the plate so that spectators can watch the game without fear of being hit by a foul ball.
Ryan Lee, the number 8 hitter, is looking for a base hit here to put Bedford in front. Top of the second, no score. Here's the pitch, and it's a curveball inside, 1-1.
Well, it's a big moment early in the game.
And we talk about extra outstick and extra pitches that Morissette has to throw. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled straight back. Again, another high strike up out of the zone.
Well, Lee certainly he's up there swinging. Swung at the first pitch and fouled it back, and now he's down. So
Morissette looks in, winds, delivers, and it's again fouled back. So Ryan Lee getting some good swings on these pitches, fouling them all straight back.
That builds confidence, his ability to foul off a good pitch.
Ready to go again. Morissette shaking off his catcher. He winds and delivers, and it's swung on in strike 3.
Nice pitch by Morissette there.
So Bedford squanders an opportunity. We've played 1.5. There's no score here in Manchester. NHI AA Division I baseball championships. And Dick, I'm trying to find out if anyone saw what happened on that play.
Yeah, I'd love to get a clearer explanation than from what we saw. I'm sure somebody probably at least feels they know exactly what happened.
Maybe we can check the Twitter feed.
Oh, there certainly are. I know that in particular the Seacoast reporters can't cover the Seacoast games, and Exeter, being a Seacoast team, gets a lot of coverage, and probably 2 or 3 different people.
Unless they were looking down on the scorebook like we were, ready to put F9 down and look up, and all of a sudden you see the umpire emphatically waving his arms that it was a no catch. It was the last thing I expected to see when I looked up.
So when all was said and done, it ended up costing Morissette 4 or 5 additional pitches, which is not insignificant, but certainly the bigger damage would have been to allow runs to score after the inning should have been over, and he was able to avoid that. So he got himself out of that situation.
I'm looking at Twitter feeds right now. I don't see anything that was posted. So I would imagine the only explanation is that after he caught the ball or had it in his glove, he dropped it, and the umpire deemed that he did not have possession. And well, I put it down in the book as a 2-base error. So
I think that was the right call.
So we're set to go here in the bottom of the second. Zenzian, who is on base, strolling out now to take the last pitch and throw it down the second. So due up for Exeter is Malgeri, the center fielder, Lavery, the third baseman, and Bobby Cleach, the second baseman. That is 5'6", 7", in the order.
Well, Jerry had the big hit the other night after the intentional walk to Paulimas. He came through and actually got a base hit and really got things going for Exeter.
So here's the first pitch from Quintel. It's followed straight back, strike one. Now Jerry aggressively going after that first fastball. Quintel peers in for the sign. Winds and delivers. And it's again fouled off. Quickly ahead 0-2.
We've seen a lot of foul balls in the last 2 games, that's for sure.
Jeez. It's new. I thought they were going to run out. So quickly 0-2. Quintel working a little bit quicker than he did in the first. He delivers way outside for a waste pitch. Ball 1. Again, a warm afternoon here in Manchester, New Hampshire. Temperatures in the mid-90s. After a warm day yesterday, also in the 90s. There's a pitch from Quintel. It looks like a changeup that is fly ball to deep left field. Back, and it bounces and it hits off the wall. And now Jerry's going to third base and he'll make it in with the triple. So that ball seemed to have some carry on it.
Definitely did. I mean, the ball was hit into the power alley, just to the right of the 380 sign. Gilligan was tracking it. He certainly, you could tell he was running at full clip and was just not able to reach out and grab it.
And I did notice that the wind really has picked up now. It's the flags are out straight, going from left to right or left to center, and that's exactly where the ball landed. Not that far from the foul pole, from the flag poles. So runner on third base, no out now. Sean Lavery up. Leadoff triple for Exeter. Here's the pitch, and it's in for a strike.
Bedford has the infield in, expecting this to be a tight game, trying to prevent the runner at third from scoring on a ground ball.
Quintel winds and delivers, and it's in tight. Oh, and that hit him. That hit him.
That's a tough one for Quintel because the batter was actually, it was a check swing, so he was actually moving his arms in, closer to the plate, and just barely caught him. Very similar in terms of no flesh, just uniform.
So Exeter has runners on first and third, nobody out. Zenzian out in front of the circle, given the defensive setup if there's a steal. So now the middle infield goes back to pinch double play depth, and the corners will be in tight. Quintel comes to the set, and he fakes to third, looks back to first base. And I thought that
rule was outlawed in Major League Baseball, but it's still on Federation rule book. So
Quintel sets and he throws for a first pitch strike. Yeah, I was surprised. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah.
Even the kid at third base was looking at the umpire wondering what was going on. Quintel sets and delivers, and it's fouled out of play.
That's one of the idiosyncrasies of high school baseball. They do have their own set of rules. Now, the vast majority of the rules overlap with Major League Baseball, but there are a handful of them that are different and can be challenging for the umpires as well as the spectators.
Quintel ahead 0-2. Here's the pitch, and it's a tomahawk swing, line to the right fielder, and it's base hit that brings in the run. So a leadoff triple, a hit batsman, and a single for Cleach. And it's quickly 1-0 here in the bottom of the second inning.
Cleach, I'm sorry, Paul.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Cleach continues to be the hot bat. I mean, he was had the game-winning RBIs in the game against Spalding the other night, and also had the game-winning RBI against Bedford in their regular season matchup.
That pitch was up out of the zone, and he appeared to be late, kind of a tomahawk swing, and he lined it between first and second. Quickly got to Liam Green, but again, with the runner on third base, he scored easily.
When you said tomahawk, that's exactly what I was thinking. And it looks like Bedford is getting action going in the bullpen here. Being the championship game, they want to wait too long. And it looks like maybe Manny Ray getting up to throw.
Yep, number 9, Manny Ray. Yep. Quintel runs on first and second, and hitter squares, and he offers at it for a strike. This is Ben Palmer, the left fielder.
He certainly did offer that. He moved the bat quite a bit forward there.
Lavery at second, Cliche at first, nobody out. 1-0 Exeter. Quintel looks in for the sign, comes to the set, looks back at second, and again it's offered. And Blend is back to the pitcher, and he throws over the first for the out. So Palmer gets his job done. He advances the runners to second and third.
Well, that was textbook right there. He put it in a place where really they didn't have any option other than to take the out at first base.
So now runners on second and third. Corners are playing in for Bedford. Middle is playing back. This is the number 9 hitter, Cam Flanagan. Quintel out of the windup, winds and delivers up and out of the zone for ball 1.
Flanagan's also the right fielder who apparently dropped that what would have been the third out. So he's got a little chip on his shoulder right now. Wants to make up for that.
Here's the pitch, and it's swung at and missed. Strike 1. Now Bedford brings the middle in, so everyone around is in on the grass for Bedford. Outfield moderate depth. Center field Collins shaded a bit toward right. And the pitch is inside corner for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strike.
A strikeout would be really big here, Paul, because it would allow the infielders then to play back at regular depth. At this depth, a hard hit ball could get through them easier than if they were at normal depth.
Here's the pitch, and it looks like that he offered on that. Let's see if they're going to appeal. And no, he did not offer.
Unfortunately for Bedford, with the 3-man system in umpiring, the first base umpire is now in a position between second and first and not in an optimal position to see whether or not he offered at that.
Here's a 2-2 pitch, and it's popped up out of play. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, runners on second and third. Manny Ray warming up in the Bedford bullpen. Quintel trying to limit the damage here in the bottom of the second to 1 run. He winds and delivers, and it's fouled right past the first base coach. And Levine will run back to pick it up. This is the 9-hitter Flanagan with the leadoff hitter Kyle Ball on deck.
Definitely a big spot for Quintel. May determine whether he stays in this game or not.
Quintel looks in for the sign. He's working out of the windup. He winds and delivers, and it's in the dirt. Stopped nicely by Zenzian, and he quickly got up and tagged Flanagan, which was important, Dick, so he didn't have to make a throw down to first base.
Very big play by Zenzian there. By able to tag him, that finished the out, and had he had to throw down to first, you never know. And that's you obviously don't want to have to make extra throws. Great play by Zenzian there.
So with 2 out, runners on second and third, that brings up Kyle Ball, the shortstop. Ball grounded out to short his first time up. And here's the pitch. And it's inside for a ball.
You know, with it being the top of the order, even with first base open, you don't want to progress the lineup here. You want to get after Ball right here.
Here's the pitch. And the curveball, it's peeled foul off the right hand right field grandstand. 1-1.
That was a big bender as opposed to a sharp curve.
Quintel appears in for the sign. He winds, delivers, and it's foul tip to Zenzian's mitt for strike 2, 1-2.
Well,
showed some good velocity on that pitch, Dick.
He did, and he's put himself in a better position. He's now in control of the at-bat.
He winds, delivers, and it's swung out strike 3, so Quintel does a good job of limiting the damage to 1 run. We've played 2 innings here from Northeast Delta Dental Stadium. The score, Exeter 1, Bedford 0. You're listening to Bedford High School Baseball, 105.1 WBNH. So we are back to Northeast. I keep saying New England. Northeast Delta Dental Stadium. The score, Exeter 1, Bedford 0 here in the top of the 3rd.
That is a mouthful, Paul.
Oof, I knew it was going to happen. This is number 9 hitter Matt Gilligan for Bedford. Morissette delivers, and Gilligan attempts to drag bunt. He falls it back out of play.
That was a major foul ball on a bunt attempt.
I don't think I've ever seen a foul ball bunt attempt go over the building.
Gilligan has excellent speed, and this is part of his MO. He can lay a bunt down. And
here's the pitch. and he hits a fly ball to left field. This is Palmer. He camps under it and makes the catch for the first out.
And he does catch it, and we watch that all the way.
I've learned my lesson. We did talk to a few eyewitnesses that report that the ball, the right fielder appeared to lose the ball in the sun, and it actually bounced off the ground right at his feet and bounced up to his chest, and tried to sell that he caught the ball. This came from when the first pitch to Joey Barrett is a strike, from our BCTV camera operator, who was in tight on the player and said he never had it. Here's the pitch, and Barrett grounds it down to third base, and it's a fair ball. Oh, geez.
I think he missed that call, Paul. Yeah. I think the ball bounced, and then it took a hard shot to the left, and it looked like it was outside the bag as it passed the bag.
Well, I was watching first home plate umpire Steve Drescher, who actually raised his hands to call foul. And Bolduc and Billy Chapman came up to say, hey, that's not his call.
Yeah.
So Coach
you have
Chapman,
to ask. Yeah, I'm sorry, Paul.
Going down.
I'm just going to say that I believe Coach Chapman actually has to ask the umpire who made the call to check with the home plate umpire.
Now, the rule is when you're an umpire, the home plate umpire has the ball up to the bag. The base umpire has the call from the bag, the front of the bag, and beyond.
Well, he's guilty of what we did on the fly ball to right field. I think he anticipated that it was going to be a fair ball based on that bounce very close to the bag, but it took a sharp hit to the left.
And this is Cooper Annable now with nobody on and 2 outs. He looks at a first pitch strike. Yeah, it was odd. I was looking down at Drescher, the home plate umpire, thinking that was his call, and he raised his hands to signify a foul ball, which I believe it was foul. Like you said, Dick, I don't think that ball was fair.
Tough break for the Bulldogs, looking for base runners any way they can get them.
And Annable hits the ball down to third base. This is Lavery up and guns it across the first for the out. So Bedford quickly goes 1-2-3. So after 2.5 innings, it's Exeter 1, Bedford nothing. We want to remind our listeners to stay tuned immediately after the game for Beatles Rewind on Bedford 105.1. Host Matt Dion will be playing studio outtakes from the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper sessions. That's coming up right after the game here on 105.1 WBNH.
That's very appropriate, Paul. I remember when I was playing Little League Baseball, they had 145 RPM record, and they had Strawberry Fields on one side and Penny Lane on the other. And I loved those songs growing up. I really associate them with baseball in my own experience.
And not many people realize it is the 50th anniversary of the Sgt. Pepper's album, one of the classics of all time. It's interesting to listen and learn about how the Beatles and the Beach Boys back then were going back and forth with their albums, and the White Album, Sgt. Pepper's, and Pet Sounds, and Good Vibrations for the Beach Boys. It was a great time for music.
And if we had more time on this telecast, Paul could tell you a lot about music.
I enjoy it. Yeah, I'm getting a note here from crack engineer Harry Kozlowski that it's the 50th remastered version, just released. Has some outtakes, which I'm sure I'm going to be picking up since I did not know about that. So now we're going into the bottom of the third inning with Exeter up 1-0. Their number 2 hitter, Cody Moore, set up. He grounded to first his first time up. 1-0 Exeter. Quintel still on the mound. He winds and delivers. And it's a ball popped over the shortstop's head. Gilligan coming on strong, but he's unable to make the catch. In between ball, neither player had a shot at it, Dick.
No, I think good effort by Gilligan. He really closed the distance quickly, but it was just one of those not a sharply hit ball, and it really in no man's land between the shortstop and the left fielder.
So with the leadoff runner on first base, that brings up the catcher, Kyle Maurice. He walked his first time up.
I have to say, Paul, that Quintal's pitching under pressure at the last inning. He was under pressure.
He fires over to first, and Morissette dives back.
And unfortunately, he starts this inning off with a base runner and nobody out. So
comes to the set and delivers, And a curveball in the dirt for a ball.
There certainly is a theory that it's just not straight pitch count, that the number of pitches you pitch under pressure is a tell. And in Major League Baseball, they'd probably track that, but we don't have that statistic available to us at the high school level.
Quintal delivers, and it's grounded in the hole between short and third for a base hit. Gilligan quickly gets it and fires it into Joey Barrett. So the first two hitters have reached for Exeter by the way of back-to-back singles.
And it does appear that Manny Ray is going to head back out to the bullpen. He's getting his glove, and the bullpen catcher is getting his mask, so expect to see them out there shortly.
So runners on first and second, nobody out. This brings up Tom Polomis, who flew to center field his first time up. And the pitch is actually behind Polomis for ball one.
The crowd is jeering a little, but there is no way that Quintal wants to hit Polomis in this particular situation. He doesn't want the bases loaded with nobody out.
No. Quintal peers in for the sign, comes to the set, and delivers. Another curveball, another ball well struck down to left field. Morissette being waved home from second. He will score without a throw. It's quickly 2-0 Exeter.
Well, Paul, that's the first one we mentioned wasn't hit sharply. Nevertheless, it found some green grass for a base hit, and the last two have been hit sharply. And with the confidence that Quintal got by closing out the last inning, only allowing one run, is now seemed to have faded.
You talk about pitching in stress or under stress, and that's exactly what we are right now. There's a first pitch to Malgeri as a called strike on the outside corner. Once again, action in the Bedford bullpen. Here's the set, and the pitch is high and outside.
And you'll notice in this situation with the down 2-0 and no outs, Coach Chapman chose to play the infield at normal depth, with the exception of the pinching of the middle infielders for the double play.
1-1 pitch is high for ball two, 2-1.
And I suspect while he's trying to avoid the big inning in this particular situation, he needs an out before he starts pulling his infield in.
Yeah, they would love a double play ball hit here. Quintal on the rubber, looking in for the sign. Malgeri ahead in the count, 2-1. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled straight back. Good cut on it by Malgeri.
Just trying to confirm if that's 2-1 or 2-2.
Well, 2-1 would be Mitch Royce, so I don't think it's in. There's a pitch and a swinging strike three.
I meant the count.
Oh, okay. I thought you were pointing down at the bullpen.
Paul was right, and the scoreboard was wrong.
So Malgeri goes down on strikes for the first out of the inning, and Coach Chapman coming out to talk to Quintal.
He's using his Coach Chapman pace to give Manny Ray additional time. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to pull Quintal at this time, but
Manny Ray did warm up in the second inning. And after the second hit of the inning by Exeter, quickly went back out to continue warming up. Long conversation, Chapman, Zenzian, and Drescher starts to move out to the mound, and Coach Chapman breaks up the mound meeting.
So I'm going to reclassify that as the Coach Chapman pace to give Quintal a chance to just relax and, probably, telling him he got that first out, and he's changed it now. He's put himself back in a position to get this inning back and leave it at one additional run.
Bedford would love to see a double play ball here with one out, runners on first and second, 2-0 Exeter here in the bottom of the third. Quintal comes to the set and the delivery, and is fouled straight back, strike one. Wind again blowing from left towards center. And it's very warm Monday afternoon here in downtown Manchester. Quintel delivers in a bunt attempt, and it's foul. So Quintel quickly ahead here, 0-2.
Well, he did Quintel a favor there. He really bunted at a very high pitch. And, you know, really the line on bunting is if you have to raise your hands, you should not be offering.
It was an attempted bunt for a base hit, not a sacrifice. One out already. Lavery waves the bat. Quintel delivers, and it's strike 3 swinging. So back-to-back strikeouts for Quintel.
Well, his good work here has now given him the opportunity to pitch to Bobby Cleach, who we mentioned has been very hot, correct?
Yep, Cleach singled his last time up and brought in Malgeri. Here's a pitch, and it's lined down, foul into the bullpen.
He doesn't get cheated on his hacks, Paul. I mean, you mentioned he got the tomahawk single the first time out.
And I've noticed that his front foot way out. So I don't know if he'd be susceptible to something on the outside off speed on the outside part of the plate, but front foot really flies out. He is on tight on the plate. 1 strike to count. Runners on first and second, 2 out. Quintel trying to get out of a jam. Here's the pitch, and it's a curveball in the dirt, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-0 Exeter. I expect we'll see Cliche at some point in this game, pitching. And the pitch is inside tight for a ball. 2 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, he's kind of been the do-it-all guy for Exeter.
Quintel tugs at the bill of his cap, looks in for a sign. Sets high set, and the pitch is outside, ball 3.
It didn't look like it missed by too much. There was a lot of movement around the plate there. Cleach kind of backing out, and Zenzian reaching over to snag that one.
So after giving up 3 consecutive hits and then 2 consecutive strikeouts, he's fallen behind 3-1. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball poured in for a strike. 3-2.
I don't think Cleach is going to see a better pitch than that on 2-2.
Ball right down the middle. So with full count here and 2 outs, the runners will be off. Quintel looks in for the sign. Comes to the set. And the pitch. Curveball. It's popped up. Popped up. Levine under it. He's calling it. And he makes the catch in foul territory for the out. So once again, Quintel is able to limit the damage to 1 run. They get 3 hits, 3 consecutive hits, but they only score 1. So we've played 3 full here from Northeast Delta Dental Stadium to score Exeter 2, Bedford nothing. And Dick, Quintel is really, as the old saying, the Molly Hatchet song goes, flirting with disaster here with getting multiple runners on base in the last 2 innings and fortunately only giving up 2 runs.
No, he really has, and he's done an excellent job of getting out of it. But I do suspect that as we mentioned before, the number of pitches he's done under stress will probably mean if he gets in trouble one more time, Coach Chapman's likely to replace him. You know, this isn't a regular season game where you can let him work through it. This is a championship game, and the last thing you want to do is leave any weapons that you have in the dugout.
And as we are between innings here, we're watching the Bedford bullpen, and Coach Chapman just went out to talk to Manny Ray. And I would imagine at this point, with Quintel struggling a bit, that I would not be surprised to see Manny Ray start the bottom of the 4th inning for Bedford. You
know, Paul, we talked a little bit, not so much in the intro, but on the way to the field here today about experience and the fact that Bedford's 3rd straight trip to the Division I finals here, having lost 2 years ago and having won last year. But one of the interesting things is Quintel was not on the team last year. He was playing ball out of state, attending school out of state, and so that's a pretty big moment for him here today.
Yeah, and we talked about the difference in experience at this game. In this game, and Exeter, having not been in the championship game since 2013, I don't think had any players with playoff experience in the finals. But I haven't seen any nerves here today. There's been no, mental lapses. So we're ready to go here in the top of the fourth. This is Grant Levine. He struck out his first time up, and he looks at a ball in the dirt.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is Exeter does seem to be a little more aggressive, if I can use that term.
Here's the pitch, and it's grounded to short. High hop, and the throw to first gets Levine by half a step.
I think Levine wishes he could have that one back with no strikes on him there. That's probably not the pitch he wanted to swing at during the at-bat.
So Kyle Ball throws out Levine. That brings up Connor Collins with one out, nobody on. Collins was hit by a pitch his first time up. Collins, the senior center fielder.
So I've just noticed that the first baseman is tying his shoe. I was wondering what was causing the delay.
Umpire holds his glove, and he steps out of that one. He's getting some good-natured ribbing from the crowd.
I think he could take advantage of some Velcro brand hook and loop on those on those cleats instead of having the shoelaces.
So he is done putting his shoes on. He gets a round of applause from both the crowd and pitcher Cody Morissette. I would imagine Cody Morissette didn't want that break because he's cruising along here. Here's the pitch, and it's in for a strike.
Well, didn't bother him on pitch one, that's for sure. Poured a fastball right in there.
Collins back in the box, waves the bat. Here's the pitch, and it's a curveball. And Colin Collins way out in front of that pitch.
Yeah, that was a good mix. Definitely had Collins thinking something else there.
Morissette looks in for the sign, winds and delivers, and a fastball up and away, ball one. Cody Morissette, the New Hampshire Division I Player of the Year. He winds and delivers, and it's in the dirt, ball two.
So a little discipline shown here by Collins, laying off the high fastball, which has been a problem for Bedford today, and now getting the count back to 2-2.
Morissette winds and delivers, and it's ball outside. Morissette will be going to Boston College in the fall. Division I baseball in Chestnut Hill.
Suspect he's a good student as well.
Imagine so. Here's the pitch, and it's grounded foul over Coach Chapman's head. We'll come back and do it again.
Well, Collins is, if nothing else, is forced Morissette to throw some pitches in this situation.
Manny Ray continues to throw in the Bedford bullpen. And here's the pitch, and it's ball four high. So Collins draws a one-out walk. Bedford looking to break into the scoring column here, down 2-0 in the bottom of the fourth. I'm sorry, top of the fourth.
That was really a quality at-bat by Collins in that particular situation. After a quick out from Levine, Collins extends it to 7 pitches and just finds himself at first base with a walk.
So that brings up Liam Green with 1 out and a runner on first base. And Morissette is handing the ball to third base umpire Bolduck. I don't think he liked the ball, but he gets the ball back from Bolduck, and he's ready to go.
If you want to see a difference between the pros and high school, is right there. They throw that ball out in a half a second in the pros.
Collins off at first. Morissette sets. And the pitch on the outside corner, strike one. Having trouble with that Morissette sets. Collins with a decent lead at first. Morissette looks over and delivers. And a tomahawk ball down the left field line. That's going to get over the left fielder's head to the wall. Palmer makes a nice play on the ball. They're waving the runner in, and he quickly holds. It was a smart move by Coach Chapman. It was a nice play by the left fielder there to get the
Definitely a smart move by Coach Chapman. I mean, he did the right thing. He came up the line a little bit, and he was aggressively waving Collins to make him, run as hard as he could. And the left fielder made a nice play on the ball, and Coach Chapman held him up.
The ball was hit down to the warning track around the 3:30 mark. Hit one hop the fence, and left fielder Ben Palmer did a good job of getting the ball. So here's Masso. The pitch to Masso is in for a strike. Masso is probably the hottest hitter for Bedford, probably the one you want to see up. Morissette working from the windup, quickened his pace. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled straight back. Nice hack by Masso. Zenzian on deck for the Bulldogs. Bedford looking to break into the scoreboard. Green on second, Collins on third. 1 out, 2 strikes. Morissette winds and delivers, and it's popped up, and Kyle Ball is under it at short, and he catches it for the second out.
Now that was just as good as a strikeout in that situation with the runners at second and third and 1 out. Exeter had actually decided to play back. They weren't bringing the infield in at all, and that, other than a strikeout, that's probably the only other thing that would have prevented a run from scoring.
So first pitch to Zenzian is high for ball 1. Zenzian had reached on that ball that we have talked about for a couple innings that was hit to the right fielder that he did not catch. Again, Bedford trying to capitalize on an opportunity. Runners on second and third. Here's a pitch, and it's in for a strike.
You know, Paul, the Coach Belichick of the Patriots has probably taken the "do your job" moniker over, but it's big in baseball, and "do your job" hitting is
1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch, and it's over the outside corner for a strike, 1 and 2. It's the second inning out of 4 that Bedford has had runners on second and third. They have yet to score. 2-0 Exeter. Top of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch, and it gets past the catcher, and the run will score. So the ball was a high pitch over the catcher's head. It really got away from Morissette.
That was a big break for Bedford, not having scored with Amasso up, and effectively that's as if he had gotten a sacrifice fly at this point. So even though there's still 2 outs, they now have a run on the board.
So 2-2's the count. Runner on third now with 2 outs. Here's the pitch, and the ball is fouled out of play. So the count remains 2-2, and Morissette is upset with himself. Catcher Kyle Maurice really had no shot at that ball. It was a fastball up over his head, went straight back to the backstop. Here's a windup and the pitch, and a ball hit well to right center fielder. Center fielder coming over, and they collide, and the ball's on the ground. There's no catch, and there's no one at second base. The run scores, and Zenzian winds up at second base.
Well, you could see that developing. I'm watching both outfielders. It looked like it was the right fielder's ball, and the center fielder was aggressively coming over, and the timing of him colliding just as the ball was about to reach the right fielder's glove. And Exeter coach must be wondering what's going on out there in right field. Although that was not the right fielder's.
Not at all.
I'd put that one on the center fielder.
That was definitely the right fielder's ball. It was probably 15, 20 feet to his right where the collision occurred. And you got to wonder, Dick, what we talked about earlier, if there's an issue with the sun, with the right fielder, him picking up the ball. Can't tell from here if he's wearing sunglasses or eye black, but that center fielder came a long, long way to try to make that catch, and I'm sure it shocked the right fielder. The 2 collided, and now we have a tie ball game here. 2 gift runs for Bedford here in the top of the 4th inning.
Yeah, that really was a huge play, and I felt that the right fielder was going to make the catch. I mean, we know we had that questionable catch a couple innings ago, but in that particular case, he seemed like he was camped under it.
Yep. So here's Ryan Lee with 2 outs and a runner on second. The pitch is high for a ball. Now we talk about Dick giving extra outs, and Morissette has had to work this inning.
He certainly has. Definitely more pitches this inning than any other.
Comes to the set, looks back, and the pitch is in for a strike. Once again, it's a unseasonably hot day here in Manchester. Temperatures in the mid-90s. I don't think it's cooled off any. Morissette to the belt, looks back and delivers, and it's ball outside, and it gets by the catcher. That will allow Zenzian to go to third. So a few breakdowns, Dick, in the top of the 4th here for Exeter.
Yeah, it seems to be contagious. You know, they were playing a pretty. I mentioned they looked like the more aggressive team, but in this particular case, they've. I think this is going to put them back on their heels.
Sure will, and they were playing loose. They seem to be. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled out of play. And we talked about after that first out, the first baseman having to tie his shoes, and Morissette clapping after he got done. So they were playing loose, you know, and aggressive, which is a good combination in baseball, but not in the past couple outs. There's a ball fouled straight back. So another good at bat by Ryan Lee.
Yeah, he's found himself, in some big spots. He wasn't able to deliver the run the last at bat, but he's up there.
Runner on third, 2 outs, 2-2 the count. Tie score here, top of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch, and it's strike 3 swing on a ball up out of the zone. So a big inning for Bedford. They were able to capitalize on a couple of miscues from Exeter. So we've played 3.5 innings. The score: Bedford 2, Exeter 2. And Dick, we talk about defense and composure, and Exeter scoring their runs on hits. Bedford getting their runs on some defensive miscues by Exeter.
Yeah, absolutely. And, how quickly the feeling of the game changes. And Bedford, like you said, I wouldn't call it nerves, but they just seemed a little listless. And they certainly have bounce in their step now as they go take the field.
Well, you look at that top of the 4th inning, the leadoff hitter, arguably or probably or definitely the best hitter for Bedford, Grant Levine, gets up and on a 1-ball count, chops a ground ball to short for a quick first out of the inning. And you're right, Dick. At that point, having retired your top hitter, there just seemed to be no energy on the part of the Bulldogs. But a nice at-bat by Collins, drawing a walk, and then Liam Green with a double down the left field to the left field fence. Runners on second and third, 1 out. Massau popped out to the shortstop. So with 2 outs and Bedford again looking at not being able to score runs with runners on second and third, they catch a couple big breaks in that inning.
Well, that was the big spot right there. After getting Massau to pop out, we mentioned that was as good as a strikeout in that situation. No opportunity for the runners to advance. And now with 2 outs, everyone, I wouldn't say relaxes, but it puts them in a position to play routine baseball. And quite frankly, that was a routine fly ball to right field. And that really changes things.
So we're getting ready to start the bottom of the 4th. And Joe Quintal is still on the mound for the Bulldogs. He's going to face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, Palmer, Flanagan, and Ball. Palmer, the left fielder, has sacrificed bunt his first time up, 1-3. Quintal winds and delivers, and it's swung on and missed for strike 1.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if this picks Quintal up, and if he's able to pitch a couple more innings as a result of the run scored on his behalf.
Here's the windup and the pitch, and it's in for a strike. Quintal quickly had 0-2. We're knotted up at 2 in the NHI AA Division I championship game, Bedford Exeter. Here's the pitch, and it's high for ball 1. 1-2. Be a waste pitch by Quintal. Palmer, a tall right-handed hitter with a bright orange bat. Here's the pitch, and it's swung on and missed, strike 3.
Well, it's a great start to the inning for Quintal, and I'm not sure if he felt he was in danger of being pulled after the last inning, but that's a great way to start this inning.
So here's Flanagan, who struck out his first time up. And Dick, when you get to the bottom of the order, especially when you're struggling as a pitcher, it's important to not let those guys get on base.
Absolutely. I'd say, that sometimes the bottom of the order is overplayed a little bit, but it's a confidence thing for the pitcher. Everyone feels that way.
First pitch for a ball. Here's the next delivery, and it's grounded up the middle. Lee stumbles, makes the throw, and he's out at first base. A real nice play by, I keep wanting to call him Connor, Ryan Lee.
That was we've had 2 or 3 bang plays over at first base, and I don't see anybody arguing on any of them. And first base umpire all over it.
Ball was hit to Lee's right. He moved well to the ball, but stumbled as the ball hit his glove. He got up and threw a ball to Levine and just got the runner. So with 2 out, nobody on, the first pitch to Kyle Ball is high for a ball. Ball is grounded to short and struck out. Quintal winds and delivers, and it's ball 2 outside.
Now, with nobody on base, it's important for Quintal to really challenge Ball.
Yeah, you do not want to give up a walk here with 2 outs. Quintal looks in. He's still looking in. He winds and delivers. and it swung on and missed. And a pitch with good velocity.
He must have been listening, Paul.
Quintel throwing well this inning. A strikeout, a ground out. And here's the pitch. And it's fouled back out of play.
You can see it in his pace, Paul. He's getting the ball and he wants to throw right away.
In one of the innings, I don't recall which one, I noticed that he slowed his pace way down. And he looked down at the bullpen and he sees Manny Ray lurking. Here's a pitch and it's a curveball, and ball actually moved into that pitch, but did not hit him.
That would have been interesting if it had hit him.
Would have been interesting.
He was right on the edge of the strike zone there.
I think that would have been a dead ball, maybe dead ball strike 3. But here's the pitch, and that ball hits him. So a 3-2 pitch inside, and it hits Kyle Ball.
Textbook shoulder turn. He's a smart ball player.
That pitch came in though. That definitely was a ball that he could not have gotten out of the way.
Yes.
So 2 outs and a run around first base. That brings up Morissette, who grounded to Levine at first and singled back in the 3rd. Morissette, the left-handed hitter, Division I Player of the Year. Ball off at first. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled back out of play. With 2 outs here, Dick, you wonder if Exeter would try to swipe a bag. Zenzian behind the plate.
I would be surprised if they don't, to be honest with you. I think maybe the scouting report is that they can take a bag.
And as we say that, Quintel throws over to first base just to let Ball know that he's thinking of him. Not a hard throw over. Ball back easy. Quintel sets and quickly delivers to the plate. It's inside for a ball, 1-1.
So Quintel, after cruising through the first 2 batters, pitching from the windup, now finds himself pitching from the stretch.
And as I said that, the third base, this is the coach, Kevin McQueen, going out to Bolduc, and I'm sure he's talking to him about the quick pitch there and that last pitch, and Zenzian going out. I'm sure if Zenzian caught it, telling him, hey, you got to come to a stop. I know he's trying to keep Ball close by adjusting his delivery times to the plate, or set times, I should say, and that time he quickly set and delivered, and it was a borderline balk.
And obviously a balk would have the same implications as a stolen base. We'd have a runner on second base.
So 1-1 the count. McQueen back in his coaching box. Quintel sets, and he throws over to first. Again, a lazy throw. I don't think he wants to show his best throw yet.
No, that was just reminding the runner that he is there, and he is willing to throw.
Did it again, just did it again. 2-2 the score here, bottom of the 4th. Exeter and Bedford. Quintel sets, and a ball hit down to Levine at first, and it's a fair ball. It just gets by Levine, and ball gets thrown back and behind the runner. He's safe at first base, but Exeter now runs on first and third.
I think in that situation, Levine could have taken one more step to his left and really kind of gotten behind the ball, and he was a little late and just stuck his glove out, and the ball bounced over his glove.
Levine holding the run around first base as the pitch came to the plate. He bounced off the bag to get in position, and the ball was hit down the bag, right over the bag it appeared. And he moved to his left and just by his glove. And here comes Coach Chapman out to the mound, and I suspect that'll be it for Quintel.
This is his first. Yeah, he's already made the call.
So what we're going to do, as we have a pitching change here in Bedford, we're going to go to a break. So in the bottom of the 4th inning, the score, Exeter 2, Bedford 2. And we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. There's runners on first and third, 2 outs. Manny Ray has just been brought into the game by Coach Billy Chapman. And up for Exeter is Kyle Maurice, who has walked and singled his last time up. He singled to right on the tomahawk swing. First and third. Ray comes to the set, and he delivers. And it's a curveball over the outside corner for strike 1.
Big strike 1 there. With runners at first and third, and there's a couple of ways the Exeter coach can play this. And probably wouldn't send the runner until there's 2 strikes, but that's always an option.
Ray peers in for the sign, twirls the ball in his right hand. He looks over at first base at Morissette. Here's the pitch, And it's grounded in the hole between second and third. I'm sorry, short and third for a base hit.
Well, that's a big hit in a big situation by Kyle Maurice. That it looked like the inning was going to be over, and they've turned that ball that got past Levine into a run at this point.
So now there's runners on first and second, 2 outs, and Tom Pullum is up, who has flown out to center and singled. Manny Ray in for Bedford. First pitch on the outside corner for called strike 1.
I notice they've got Collins shaded slightly to the left side of center. Pullum is definitely a pull hitter.
Ray comes to the belt, and he fires, and it's a strike on the outside corner. 0-2. Steve Drescher consistent with that outside corner all game. Ray looking in, and he throws outside for ball 1.
Tried to get him to chase, thinking that last one that was close to that was called a strike, but Pullum is showing some discipline.
Ray peers in, sets to the belt, and delivers, and it's ball low, 2-2. Just missed.
Ray would certainly like to avoid the 3-2-2 count when the runners can get going. This is the time to put him away.
Ray sets and delivers, and it's swinging strike 3 for the 3rd out of the inning. So we've played 4 full here from Manchester. The score, Exeter 3, Bedford 2.
Well, Paul, I wouldn't call that a major response on the part of Exeter, but nonetheless, they took the lead back. So it was, there's no error on that play by Levine, and I'm certainly not dogging him. I think that's a situation where they could have easily gotten out of the inning, and Exeter, to their credit, by virtue of Maurice's sharp hit to left center field, turned it into a run.
I'd like to remind our listeners to stay tuned after the game for Beatles Rewind on Bedford 105.1. Host Matt Dion will be playing studio outtakes from the Beatles' 50th anniversary Sgt. Pepper sessions. That's coming up right after the game. Yeah, Dick, when you come back and tie a game like that, it's important to try to get the offense right back on the at the plate, and something that Bedford pitching failed to do.
Absolutely, and it's a tough situation for Ray to come into. Runners on first and third, and he's got no margin for error. And I shouldn't say that. I guess he could have walked him, but nevertheless, he was looking to face the batter and put him out in that situation. Certainly didn't want to get the bases loaded.
The bottom of the 4th started innocently enough with a strikeout and a ground out, 2 quick outs, and then hit batsman, the leadoff hitter ball, and then Morissette singled down the line. And then Maurice, of course, with the base hit between short and third, accounted for the run there in the 4th inning. So Bedford now coming up in the top of the 5th, down a run. Morissette still in the game for Exeter.
That'll be one thing to watch. How far will the Exeter coach let Morissette pitch into this game? Again, there's no. He could pitch up to 120 pitches by NHIAA rule, but he did pitch 50 pitches on Friday, and that's not an insignificant number. If he had come in and pitched 10 or 12 pitches,
50 plus.
50 plus.
Yep.
So that's
Yep. So it's it's 18, 19-year-old kids coming off a 2 days rest. So, but he's been effective so far. And let's see what he does here in the top of the 5th to Matt Gilligan. Gilligan follows the first pitch straight back, strike 1.
We talk about the bottom of the order. If Gilligan can get on base here with the top coming up, that would be big for Bedford.
Gilligan's flown out to left, and he looks at a ball low. 1-1. Morissette winds and delivers, and it's way outside for ball 2.
Good job laying off. And Gilligan hasn't had a tremendous number of at-bats this year, so this is a big position for him.
The pitch, and it's hit down the right field line, but the wind's going to push that foul. and it
Boy.
makes the seats.
That as soon as it was hit, I thought it might be foul, but it looked like it had a chance early on. But like you said, Paul, the wind got a hold of that one. And
wind is blowing still, as it has been since the first inning, from left to right. That hot summer afternoon breeze here in Manchester. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled off his foot, and he'll stay 2-2.
Gilligan showing some good fight in this at bat. He's not going to go down easy.
Top of the order, Joey Barrett on deck. Morissette winds and delivers, and it's high swinging strike 3.
That's one we've seen all too many today from the Bedford batters. They can't seem to lay off that high fastball. I suspect that that Morissette has something to do with that. He must really be doing a good job of that looking like a strike and coming up high in the zone.
So with 1 out, no on. Joey Barrett, the leadoff hitter, he's grounded to second, grounded to third. Here's the first pitch of the at-bat, is on the outside corner for a called strike.
Yeah, if you recall, Barrett's ground to third was the one we felt that the ball had actually bounced foul.
And a curveball is hit to the left field of Palmer. He glides back over his left shoulder and makes the catch.
Fairly well hit, but right at the left fielder. Didn't have to move all too much.
So quickly 2 out for the Bulldogs. That brings up the number 2 hitter, Cooper Annable. He struck out and grounded out.
Those aren't boos, right, Paul? That's
Coop. Here's the pitch to Annable. It's a curveball high, ball 1. Morissette again quickly right on the rubber, gets the ball back from the catcher. He winds and delivers, and it's outside and low, ball 2. So Annable ahead in the count, 2-0.
If Annabelle can reach base, Grant Levine would love to have that bat here.
And it's fouled back out of play. Healthy cut by Annable. Yeah, Bedford would like to get someone on in front of Levine. He got up his first time up with nobody on and 2 outs, and he led off the 4th inning. Here's the pitch, and it's a called strike on the outside corner, 2-2. Umpire Steve Drescher, one of the better umpires in the state of New Hampshire.
It was a good take by Annabelle there, though. That was a pitcher's pitch, and he was smart to lay off with only 1 strike on him before that pitch.
Here's the pitch, and it's fouled out of play.
You know, we talk about that a lot, Paul, in terms of a pitcher's pitch versus a ball right over the middle of the plate. And the whole idea is the pitcher throwing it in the strike zone, but in a place that makes it difficult for the batter to make solid contact.
So the ball is put back in play, and Morissette's ready to go. Here's the wind and the pitch, and it's way outside and high, ball 3. So full count now to Cooper Annable, the second hitter. Levine on deck. I'm sure Morissette does not want to have Annable reach. Here's the wind and the pitch. And the ball is struck well to center field. Maggiore going back, and he dives and makes a tremendous catch. Dove over his shoulder, got airborne, and actually made a fantastic catch.
Well, that he kind of got up with a puffed chest there. I think maybe that was his way of saying, I might have caused that issue in right field before, but I made a hell of a catch in that.
Made up for it, that's for sure. Fantastic catch.
Really is.
By Malgeri.
The way he went after it, too. If he doesn't get that ball, Cooper Annabelle's likely to get to third base.
Yeah, we talk about the wind here, and the ball was struck well by Annable. It started out not in left center, but toward the left field side of the center fielder, Malgeri, and he went back nicely and made a nice diving catch for the out. And Malgeri, as it often happens, Dick, will be leading off the bottom of the 5th inning for Exeter.
We always point that out when it happens. It seems like it happens a fair amount. I guess there's a 1 in 9 chance
right.
after a great play.
Statistically, that's right. So we're looking at Malgeri, Lavery, Cleach due up for Exeter.
Well, today Exeter's demonstrated that the lower third of the batting order has produced a little bit with respect to I believe Cleach has a hit, and but the runs have been at the top of the order.
Right. So Ray's looking to get the first 1-2-3 inning for the Bulldogs here on the bottom of the fifth. Exeter has had runners reach every inning so far. They lead here 3-2 in the bottom of the fifth inning. And that catch might be something that we look back on and say, if that ball gets down into the wall, you got to run around second or third, and who knows. Here's the first pitch by Manny Ray. It's way outside for a ball. Now Jerry has tripled and struck out. Here's the wind and the pitch. And it's a fly ball to center field. Collins glides back, looks up into the sun, and makes the catch.
A lot of times, Paul, when a team loses the game in the last inning, in the other team's last at bat, or whatever the case may be, they talk about, coaches often say, we didn't lose the game just on that play. And that play that Malgeri made is a perfect example of a play in the middle of the game that, when you look back, is huge.
First pitch to Lavery is outside for a ball. Lavery has walked and struck out. He scored a run in the second inning. The wind in the pitch, and it's a line drive hit right at Collins. It goes back, and he's not gonna get it. Goes to the fence. Collins retrieves it, throws the ball in, and Lavery will slide into third with a triple.
That ball was very sharply hit, even sharper than the ball that Annabelle hit, I believe, and it didn't get much air. And Collins seemed to make a pretty good break on it, but he really had no chance of catching that, and it actually got by him, which allowed Lavery to reach third.
Went all the way to the 400-foot section of the center field fence, and Lavery was able to slide in the third. There was no throw to the bag. He was in easy for the triple. So now with a runner on third base, one out, that brings up Bobby Cleach. Infield in for Bedford. Cleach has singled and popped out to Levine at first in foul territory. There's the set and the pitch, and it's a strike on the outside corner.
On Lavery's head, Paul, that's another example of playing, the impact of playing on the bigger field. Once the ball gets by, it has to travel to the 400-foot mark, which means the fielder has to retrieve it at that level. So what might have been a double in a high school field becomes a triple in this stadium.
Here's the pitch, and it's grounded, and it just gets off the glove of the shortstop. Goes into left field, and another run in for Exeter. So Joey Barrett dove to his right. It just ticked off his glove.
Now that was interesting, because if Barrett had been able to stop the ball, the runner at third had held, which is, a lot of times when the ball's hit between fielders like that, the runner has the green light to go home, and he was not going home. I doubt that Barrett would have been able to throw the batter runner out at first, but it probably would have prevented a run from scoring.
Right. So now as a runner on first base, another run in. It's now 4-2 Exeter. Palmer up to hit. He struck out and sacrificed. He looks at a strike.
And as Paul's giving you the play-by-play, Nick Gelinas has moved to the bullpen for Bedford and is about to start warming up.
Here's the pitch, and it's fouled off at the plate for strike 2, 0-2. One out, runner on first base, 4-2 Exeter. We're in the bottom of the fifth here at Northeast Delta Dental Stadium.
It's important for Bedford to reset here and get out of this inning only allowing the one run.
Here's the pitch, and it's a ball taken outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch that Manny Ray wanted.
Yeah, tough one for the batter to lay off of with 2 strikes on you.
Ray sets and delivers, and that's called strike 3. So now there are 2 outs, and Cleach remains at first base. And that brings up the number 9 hitter, Cam Flanagan. Flanagan has struck out and grounded out. Here's the pitch. The ball outside.
Quintal, he's actually worked both sides of the plate. We've seen him come inside. Unfortunately, he hit a batter that ended up costing him. But
comes to the set and delivers. Another ball outside, same spot.
Actually, I might have said Quintal. I meant Ray.
4-2 Exeter. As the angle of the sun sets a little bit more, make it more difficult for the right side of the field. And the ball in the dirt, ball 3-0. Shadow's starting to get a little longer here. Starting to creep up to the plate.
Jelinas hasn't even started throwing it. He's just doing his stretching.
Here's the pitch, and it's high for ball 4. So 4 straight balls delivered by Manny Ray. That puts runners on first and second now with 2 outs. And we're back to the top of the order in Kyle Ball. Ball grounded out, struck out, and was hit on the 3-2 pitch in the 4th. He scored one of the 4 Exeter runs. Manny Ray twirling the ball with his right hand. He steps off the rubber and asks Senzian to redo the signs. Runner on second now. He's putting down a sequence. Ray sets and delivers, and it's inside for ball 1. I notice now with Ball, when the pitch comes in, it's natural motion. He moves end on the plate.
Yeah, that
kind of creeps in a bit. And Senzian calls timeout to go out and talk to Manny Ray.
He's certainly not intimidated by being pitched inside, which is a good quality to have. But it appears that that's where Bedford wants to pitch him.
These teams scout during the year. They get scouting report from other coaches. Here's the pitch. And it's a fly ball to right field. Liam Green under it, and he makes the catch for the final out. But Exeter scores 1. We've played 5 full innings. The score Exeter 4, Bedford 2. You're listening to Bedford High School Baseball on 105.1 WBNH.
I don't think you saw my email. What the email said. It said that Jay Brewster's out there with a group of people at the hotel. He's listening.
Oh, is
I'm surprised you didn't give him a shout out.
Oh, okay. I'll come out of it. I didn't say.
He brought a radio. He's out there listening.
Okay. All right. I just had an itch in my ear. That's why I wanted to. I'm glad you asked for a break there. I took it off, and I noticed when you pull it away, it makes a huge difference in the. I said when I had the itch in my ear, I pulled it away and I was talking. It makes a huge difference in the.
Yeah, and you kind of drifted away there.
Yeah.
Who do we have coming
We're
up?
coming back in about 30 seconds.
Okay.
So I have a little bit of
Levine.
buffer music that I play when you come out of break.
Oh yeah.
What's it called? What did you say?
Like a little buffer music.
Oh, okay.
A little sporty, little.
So we got Levine. We got 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yep. We are back and coming to you from Northeast Delta Dental Stadium, where the score is Exeter 4, Bedford 2, moving into the top of the 6th inning. I'd like to take a little time to send out congratulations to Jay Brewster. Brewster, the coach of the Bedford girls softball team, who made it all the way to the finals. Unfortunately lost against Bishop Girton, but a fantastic season for first-year coach Jay Brewster. Sue Thomas did a great job, and they'll be a force to be reckoned with next year. So here's Levine to start off the top of the 6th, and a ball bounced in front of the plate for ball 1. Looks like it got away from Morissette there.
Absolutely, that looked like a little league distance coming in.
Here's the pitch, and it's outside for ball 2, 2-0.
With 3, 4, 5 here for Bedford, this is the time to get something going. They don't want to wait until the 7th inning.
Morissette working quickly, delivers, and a ball fouled back out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Levine not happy with himself. He fouling off the 2-0 pitch. Either he swung at a pitch he didn't really want to, or he felt that was one that he could do something with.
Here's the next pitch, and that ball grounded foul out of play. So Morissette is able to even up the count at 2-2. Bedford in dire need of base runners, down 2 here in the top of the 6th. Morissette shaking off his catcher, Maurice, and he delivers. And it's fouled straight back. A good healthy hack on that one.
Yeah, Maurice seemed to be trying to set up outside there, and the ball was a little bit more over the plate than I think they wanted, but it was up high, and that's what saved him.
Levine readies the bat. Morissette winds and delivers. And it's a struck between first and second and for a base hit to right field. Flanagan up, and he throws it in.
It's Grant Levine proving what kind of hitter he is. You know, obviously he's impressed over the years with his power numbers, but that was a really good at bat and just what the team needed. They needed base runners, and he's on first.
So Levine on first, nobody out. Connor Collins, who has gotten hit by the pitch and walked, and he scored a run in the fourth. Here's the pitch. It's high for a ball. Bedford scored their only 2 runs in the 4th inning. They trail here 4-2. Maurice looks over at first. Levine with the lead. Here's the pitch. And a ball struck to left field. That's hit well. Palmer going back, but he gets under it, and he makes the catch. Levine retreats back to first base, so there's 1 out in the inning.
Good base running by Levine there. He went almost all the way to second, knowing that the left fielder had to go deep to make that catch, and had he not been able to get it, Levine would have been in excellent position to possibly score from first.
So with 1 out, 1 on, that brings up Liam Green, the right fielder. He struck out and doubled. His last at bat, he's also scored a run. Morissette sets, and he bounces in the dirt, and good base running by Levine. He's able to advance down to second base standing.
Yeah, it's a good thing there was no hesitation, because he did not slide, but there was a throw.
Good read on the ball. He got a really good secondary lead on the pitch, and he had a good read on the ball getting away from catcher Maurice and was able to take second base. Here's the pitch, and it's high for a ball. It's 2-0 to Green.
Morissette looked a little quick himself on that one.
Morissette sets, looks back, and delivers ball 3 high. He really he's coming to the set. He's delivering quickly. He's not balking by any means, but he's not taking a whole lot of time to between his pitches. Figured on a warm day like this, you want to try to conserve some energy. Morissette delivers from the set, and it's high for ball 4. So 4 straight pitches to Liam Green.
It's an awkward pause there. I think Green might have thought that was strike 1. But he'll gladly run down to first base.
So now runners on first and second, 1 out for the Bulldogs, and that brings up Masso. Masso has flown deep to left of center and popped out to short. Morissette delivers, and there's a strike on the outside corner. Good quality first pitch strike for Morissette.
Yeah, keeping the ball away from Masso.
Bedford looking to claw their way back from a 2-run deficit here in the top of the 6th. Here's the pitch, and a high inside swinging strike.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what it was there. It seemed a little bit off. Certainly the timing of Masso was off a bit.
Masso, the tall 6'5" left-handed hitter. He's already committed to St. John's. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled back. Pitched a great game on Friday to beat Dover 3-1.
That ball was up as well, but with 2 strikes on him, Masso certainly doesn't want to go down on called strike 3.
Masso's looking to drive the ball somewhere. Here's the pitch, and it's swing and strike on the outside part of the plate for strike 3.
It looked a lot like pitch 1 in the sequence, Paul, and Masso had kind of a late decision to swing.
So now with 2 out and 2 on, that brings up Zenzian, who reached on a fluky error by the right fielder in the 2nd inning. Morissette comes to the set, and a pitch low for a ball.
Zenzian, certainly one of the team leaders, got to speak during graduation on Saturday, and I understand he did a great job.
Zenzian's ready. There's the pitch, and it's a swinging strike, 1-1.
Looking for something here that he can hit hard. Doesn't really matter where he hits it right now. If he puts the ball in play, hit hard, that's best chance for success.
Zenzian readies the bat. Here's the pitch. And it's a ball, line drive to the right field, and he gets in front of it and makes the catch for the out. Well struck by Zenzian, but right at the right fielder, Cam Flanagan.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a little bit of our vantage point. It's up high here at Northeast Delta Dental. But it is that ball, when it first came off, looked like it was sharper, and it just had some air on it, and the right fielder kind of made a routine catch.
So now in the middle of the 6th inning, it's Exeter 4, Bedford 2. And Dick Exeter coming up with their heart of the order here in the bottom of the 6th with Morissette, Maurice, and Polamis. So pressure is on Manny Ray to make sure that this game stays a 2-run deficit for the Bulldogs.
Absolutely, and like we mentioned, Bedford had 3-4-5, and with the by benefit of the hit, ended up going further into their lineup. So when they come back up with 3 outs left, they're going to be at the bottom of the order.
Yeah, they have Bedford in the top of the 7th. Will have Ryan Lee, Matt Gilligan, and leadoff hitter Joey Barrett due up. 4-2 Exeter. We're here at Northeast Delta Dental Stadium for the 2017 NHI AA Division I baseball finals. This is Exeter's first appearance in the finals since 2013, where they went wire to wire, as they believe they were a high seed or low seed, what do you want to call it? I think they were a 15 seed.
11.
11 seed,
Mm-hmm.
and they wound up running the table and won the first championship in 30 some odd years. Good athletic program at Exeter.
I was just going to add that in. I think, I apologize, I can't come up with his name, but then the starting pitcher from Connecticut who went to Exeter. They've produced some players over the years.
They sure have, and they're performing well here today, leading 4-2 in the bottom of the 6th, and Cody Morissette coming to the plate. Morissette has 2 singles and grounded out to first. He looks at a called strike. He's also scored a run. Morissette, left-handed hitter. Ray winds and delivers, and it's a swinging strike. Strike 2.
It does appear that Jelinas would be ready to go. So if Ray falters at all, I'm sure Coach Chapman will be.
There's a timeout as the ball actually gets away from the bullpen catcher, just beyond the third base bag, and retrieved, and we're ready to go. No balls, 2 strikes to Cody Morissette. Here's the pitch, and it's inside, ball 1.
Zenzian showing some blocking skills there, even with nobody on base.
We always talk about that, how it's, a habit. You get into a habit, it's good mechanics. Here's a pitch, fly ball, a deep right field, Green going back. That's going to get over his head into the fence. One hops the fence, and Green quickly gets the ball back in. So Morissette will wind up on second base with a leadoff double.
Well, after 2 quick strikes, he ends up an excellent hit there, and now all of a sudden they've got another runner in scoring position with no outs.
And that brings up Kyle Maurice, the number 3 hitter. He's walked and singled twice. Maurice, the big catcher. Senior, transferred here after playing last year at Portsmouth High School. It's a sharp hit ground ball, and it gets through the legs of Joey Barrett. And that'll allow Morissette to score all the way from second base.
I don't know if Barrett was thinking about the runner. The runner broke, and I don't know if that distracted Barrett, but that went right through the wickets, as they say, and that obviously allows the run to score, and still no out in the inning with a runner at first.
Yeah, well struck ball, but like you said, if he had come up with that ball, Morissette had taken off from second, and they would have had him dead to rights at third base.
That's when sometimes a base running error turns into a positive, to the extent that it affected Barrett on that play.
So now we'll have a pinch runner in for Kyle Maurice.
And here comes Coach Chapman.
And Coach Billy Chapman coming to the mound. He's already singled to the bullpen.
I was actually a little surprised he didn't go to the bullpen after the Morissette double. But he thought maybe the matchup with Ray was better.
So in jogs Jelinas. The righty will take over for Ray. Down 5-2. So Dick, Bedford has their work cut out for him here with nobody out and a runner on first, just to try to limit the damage, keep it a 3-run game, and it's even more daunting when you have 8-9-1 coming up in your home half. The top of the 7th.
And there's certainly going to be pressure on Jelinas here. He pitched 1 inning in relief in the quarterfinal game against Keene. It was the last inning of the game.
So what we're going to do here is take a break. Coming to you from Northeast Delta Dental Stadium. The score 5-2 Exeter. Okay, we are back in the bottom of the 6th. Exeter 5, Bedford 2. Runner on first base, Kyle Maurice. And Tom Polomis up. And he'll be facing Nick Jelinas, a new pitcher for the Bulldogs. Jelinas sets and delivers, and it's fouled straight back for strike 1.
As we were just before going to break, mentioned that Jelinas pitched the 7th inning against Keene in the quarterfinal with the team up. So this is a completely different situation that he finds himself in.
Jelinas, the right-hander, comes to the belt and delivers in the dirt, and that gets away from Zenzian, and that's going to allow the pinch runner, to go to second base. So ball in the dirt to Zenzian's right that he was unable to block, and it went into the grass, allowed the pinch runner to easily get to second base. So the count's 1-1 now to Polomis. Jelinas long look in at second base and delivers, and it's fouled straight back again, 1-2.
He certainly could use a strikeout in this situation. Don't want to allow any type of contact that would allow the runner to get from second to third with either no or 1 outs at this situation.
Bedford still looking to record its first out here in the bottom of the 6th. Jelinas steps off and looks the runner back at second base. Zenzian going out to have a word. Trying to see what the number is on that runner at second
number
base.
10, I believe.
10.
And that's likely, it may not matter at this stage of the game whether it's a courtesy runner, but you can have a courtesy runner for the catcher. I suspect it was designated as a courtesy runner, which means the catcher can come back in.
Nate Verge.
Oh.
The senior. Also one of the pitchers for this Exeter club. Jelinas sets to the belt and delivers, and it's a curveball inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Verge. It shows you how deep the Exeter team is. He's a senior. He's 4-0 with an ERA under 2, and his only action in this game so far is pinch running.
If that is him. My eyes aren't that good. So, Jelinas sets to the belt and delivers, and it's strike 3, and it's dropped. Zenzian up with the ball, and he throws down the first base, and it's a closer play than probably should have been.
Well, that was interesting. Zenzian actually looked to second to make sure that the runner wasn't going to try to advance to third, and then for some reason threw it rather softly to Levine.
So it goes strikeout, and the putout goes 2-3 for the first out at the bottom of the 6th. So Verge stays at second base. 1 out now, and this brings up Malgeri, who has flown out to center field, struck out, and tripled. The pitch. It's high and away, ball 1.
Well, that certainly was a big out. So even if they can get another out here, even if the runner advances to third, there would be 2 outs.
Jelinas sets to the belt, and he pitches. It's in the dirt, blocked nicely that time by Zenzian, and it bounces. Oh, he gets in his glove. Nice stop.
Yeah, good form though there. He got the body behind it. It happened to land in the glove, but the glove's there to keep it from going in the 5-hole. 2-0 is the count on the board right now.
Okay. Just double checking my work. Jelinas sets and delivers, and the ball's low. 3-0 now. Bedford really cannot afford to let any more runs score here. They're already down 3. in the bottom of the 6th. Exeter with a runner on second, 1 out. Ball in the dirt, that's ball 4. So 4 straight balls to Malgeri. So now there's runners on first and second, 1 out.
So, although Gelinas certainly would have preferred an out, by virtue of walking Malgeri, now does bring the double play into play. Should the ball be hit to one of the infielders sharply enough to give them time to turn 2.
So Lavery up. He has walked, struck out, and singled. Gelinas peers in, comes to the set, and delivers, and it's a called strike.
Good for Gelinas to get ahead and stay ahead here. The shadows are coming in, Paul.
They sure are. Right now, the shadows are halfway between the mound and the plate. But the home plate is actually still in the sunline, and Lavery asks and grants time.
So that certainly that change of light with the ball during its path does make it more difficult for the hitter to pick it up.
So right now it's going from sun to shade and back into sun. The pitch, and it's outside for a ball, 1-1.
Gelinas being careful, but obviously can't be too careful. Don't want to load him up in this situation.
Some hard hit balls today by Exeter. Here's the set. And the pitch, and there's a double steal, and it's in the dirt. And Zenzian blocks it, but both runners able to advance.
Well, Paul, they picked the perfect pitch to go on with the ball in the dirt. There was no way Zenzian. Matter of fact, it's a good thing he blocked it, because had it gotten by, there's an outside chance he could have scored a runner who was started the.
Now the runner's on second and third, 1 out, and that'll likely force, and here they come, the infield to come in for the Bulldogs. They're going to have to cut down any runner at the plate. And there's a time called at the plate.
Not sure if Zenzian thought that was a first and third, or if he was going to go out. He didn't give any signals to the infield.
I think he just needed a second. There was a umpire called time. It was given the count to both the Exeter bench and the manager down at third base. So here's a set, and it's ball 3, 3-1. He's falling behind here, 3-1. Bedford down 3, 5-2 here in the bottom of the 6th. The set and the pitch. And it's a ground ball to third. Annabelle looks to is running back at third, fires across the diamond for the out.
Well done there by Annabelle. Textbook to field the ball cleanly and made sure that the runner was staying put, and then threw a strike over to Levine at first.
So the runners remain at second and third, and that brings up Bobby Cleach, who singled, popped out, and singled again in the 5th inning.
Once again, finds himself in a big spot. It's just been the kind of tournament he's had.
So Zenzian calls timeout, and they're going to put Cleach on base. So intentionally walk to Cleach. That'll load the bases. Of course, Dick, that sets up a force in any base if there is a ball that's knocked down by an infielder.
That is stark contrast to what happened on Friday between Spalding and Exeter, where Spalding actually intentionally walked Polimas to not have to face him. And here's Polimas now.
No, this is Palmer.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah, this is Palmer.
I misread the number. I thought it was 14.
This is Ben Palmer. The pitch to Palmer, and it's over for his called strike. It is 14.
What is
Polimas is 24.
Okay. Nevertheless, now Gelinas is forced to deal with the batter. He can no longer afford to walk.
Nope.
That would drive a run in.
Gelinas sits to the belt and delivers a strike. So quickly ahead in the count for Gelinas, 0-2. Palmer struck out his last 2 times at bat. Gelinas sets and delivers, and it's a ball outside.
It didn't miss by that much. I think it definitely was a ball, but the batter choosing to let that one go by. Maybe just a little bit inside of that spot, you might be able to get a called third strike.
Here's the pitch, and it's low and outside, even up the count at 2-2. So again, Dick, you talk when you get into this position, 2-2 count, you do not want to run the count full. It makes all kinds of movement on the bases for the runners with 2 outs, and any ball hit in a gap will most assuredly clear the bases.
Absolutely. This is a big pitch in the sequence here.
Palmer readies the bat. Here's the pitch, and it's high and tight for ball 3, 3-2. So after getting ahead 0-2, Nick Gelinas has fallen behind now 3-2, and of course the runners will be off at the pitch with 2 outs. So a big moment in the game here for the Bulldogs, already down 3. Gelinas looks in for the sign, sets to the belt. Here's the pitch, and it hits him. It hits Palmer right between the 1 and the 4.
His reaction was a little over the top, I think. There's absolutely no question Gelinas was not trying to hit him in that situation. I'm sure it hurt. It got him right between the 1 and the 4, but he should take his base and accept the run.
So now the base is still loaded and 2 outs. It's now 6-2 Exeter. And this brings up Cam Flanagan, and he looks at a ball inside.
Didn't miss by much, but Gelinas really is struggling here.
Gelinas sets and delivers, and it's stopped nicely by Zenzian, but it's now ball 2. Exeter with single runs in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and now 2 here in the 6th. They lead 6-2 in the bottom of the 6th. Playing for the NHIAA Division I championship.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Coach McQueen actually has any confidence in this batter, I think Gelinas is trying to put the ball right down the middle here.
And he gets a called strike on the outside corner.
But he actually did. That was a good pitch.
Good quality pitch, yeah. So Gelinas needs the final out. Get the Bulldogs back up in the top of the 7th. Here's the pitch. And it's low, ball 3, 3-1.
So
again,
again,
Flanagan has not swung the bat at this at bat, number 9 hitter. Gelinas falling behind 3-1.
there is nobody warming up either.
And it's ball 4 outside. So Gelinas has lost the plate. It's now 7-2, and here comes Billy Chapman. It looks like he's probably going to go to Cooper Annable. And as Coach Chapman points to Cooper, Cooper points at himself. So no one out in the bullpen. So it'll be Annable. And we're back, coming to you from Northeast Delta Dental Stadium, where the score is Exeter 7, Bedford 2. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bedford has scored 3 times. And there's been a pitching change now in for Bedford is Cooper Annable. And with that change, Grant Levine moves to 3rd. And Mokas comes in to play first base. Here's the pitch from Annable, and it's fouled to the on-deck circle for strike 1.
Now, you know, Paul, both Levine at 3rd and Mokas at 1st have both seen plenty of time at those positions this year, so it's not putting them out of position. But it is, you see how one move can affect others, and in this situation now, they haven't seen a ball yet at that today at those, so hopefully that won't cause any issues, and if Annable can take care of the batter, they'll be able to go on and see what they can do with the bats.
So 1 strike to count to the leadoff hitter, Kyle Ball. Annable sets and delivers, and it's swinging, strike 2, 0-2. Good velocity by Annable. Now the plate area is completely in the shadow, and they creep out to about halfway between the plate and the mound. So Annable pitching from the sunlight into the shade. Here's the pitch, And it's high for a ball, 1-2.
That didn't get Ball to chase that one.
It looks like Exeter has number 16 warming up out in the bullpen. Here's the pitch, and it's hit down the second baseman. Gobbles it up and throws over to first base. Nice play by Lee. So that retires the side, but Exeter does score 3 times to make the score 7-2 Exeter.
I suspect, Paul, that having just come back in their game on Friday against Spalding, Exeter, if you weren't with us before, Exeter was down to their last strike with nobody on base, down 2, and they managed to score 3 runs to win the game. And I think that experience will benefit them now being in the reverse situation. I'm sure they all know not to relax and think that this game is over and play it through. Bedford's got to find some of that magic that Exeter found on Friday.
So looking to see if Morissette is going to come back out.
And he appears he is.
Cody Morissette coming back out to the mound in the 7th inning.
Not sure what the delay was. Was he on? He wasn't on base. He was on deck.
No,
Right?
he's on deck, yeah.
Yeah.
So Bedford will bring up the 8-9 one-hitters, Lee, Gilligan, and Barrett.
Already appears to be a pinch hitter for Gilligan, lining up number 20.
Is that the left-handed hitter? Spencer Adams.
Yes.
Drawing a blank on his name. So Spencer Adams will hit in the 9-hole for Matt Gilligan. So Bedford needs base runners. No secret here. Down 5 runs in the top of the 7th inning. Bedford trying to repeat as champions, having won the title last year. There's been no repeat champions since the 1996-1997 Blackbirds of Keene High School.
Well, that certainly shows how difficult it is to repeat. You know, obviously, you get turnover on every team, even though Bedford only lost 2 seniors from last year's team, the two starting seniors. They were critical. Connor Lee, their top pitcher, and their
catcher. The ball is driven to left center field. That's going to get down. And nice play by the left fielder Palmer to cut it off and throw the ball into second base. So a leadoff single for Ryan Lee gets things started here in the top of the 7th.
Well, we talked before. Lee's he's a free swinger, and he hit that ball sharply. It was a good play. I think we might see a pinch runner here.
And we do. That brings Spencer Adams to the plate. And for Bedford,
looks like Mednikov.
Number 2, Mendikov's going to come in and run.
You know, what's interesting is a lot of times you think of a pinch runner as somebody with speed, and in this particular situation, down 5, what you really want is a smart base runner, because his run really does not.
Right.
He need it, but he cannot even take a chance of making it out on the bases.
Here's the pitch to Adams, and he lines a base hit to left field. So back-to-back base hits here for the Bulldogs, and that's exactly what you wanted to see out of the 8-9 spot there.
Yeah, and their first pitch swinging, which would make sense. You think, Morissette wants to be throwing strikes and certainly doesn't want to get in the situation of possibly walking anybody. But Bedford taking advantage, swinging at those strikes and putting them in play.
So with 2 on and nobody out, that brings up the leadoff hitter Joey Barrett. Barrett has grounded out twice and flown out to left. He looks at a ball inside. 2 out, nobody on. Bedford down 5 here in the top of the 7th. Annabelle on deck. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled straight back. Defensive swing by Joey Barrett.
Yeah, unfortunately, with no strikes on you, don't like to see a defensive swing. First pitch, Morissette did mix it up and threw a bit of a breaking ball that Barrett took for a ball, but swung at one of Morissette's pitches there.
Here's the pitch, and it's a fly ball to right field. Right fielder Flanning gets under it and makes the catch for the first out. So Exeter counting outs. Bedford's counting base runners here at this point. With 1 out now and runners on first and second, that brings up Cooper Annable. Annable, the senior, right-handed stick, third baseman.
Did a nice job coming in and getting the last out in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Here's the pitch, and it's in the outside corner for a called strike. Good velocity that time shown by Morissette.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Paul. He definitely had a little extra on that one.
And Annable falls back, and we talk about plays that change the outcome. Cooper Annable up in the 5th inning. I'm sorry, was it the 5th? Yeah, we're talking about getting Grant Levine up with a runner on base and hit a deep fly ball at center field, and the center fielder Malgeri made a great diving catch on it. Here's the pitch, and it's high and away.
And
ball
at the
1.
time, that was a 3-2 game. Exeter with a slim 1-run lead, and that certainly was a big play by Malgeri.
Here's the set and the pitch and it's a ground ball hit down the third base, not well hit, and he flips to second base and he throws it away into right field. 1 run will score. Runners hold at first and second. So,
Paul, that ball that looked like trouble right from the beginning. It was a ball that had a lot of spin on it, wasn't well hit, and slowly came to ball at shortstop.
Was that the third baseman or the shortstop? I'm trying to think of who made that play.
I may have missed that the third baseman cut in front, but
I think Larry played to his left and just flicked it towards second, and it just was not close to the second baseman. So another run in for the Bulldogs, and a swinging strike to Grant Levine. Runners on first and second. Bedford down by 4. Here's the pitch, and it's high.
Well, this has been both in baseball and softball. We've seen a lot of crazy 7th innings in the tournaments this year. So
certainly have.
This wouldn't be out of the question.
Here's the pitch, and it's in for a strike. 1 and 2. Look like an off-speed pitch or a changeup in the outside corner. Nice pitch by Morissette. Levine readies the bat. Here's the pitch, and it's upstairs for a ball. 2 and 2.
Well, again, this is where Levine's he's a good hitter, not just a slugger, and there's a position for him just to hit the ball hard somewhere.
Here's the pitch, and it's in the dirt for a ball. 3 and 2.
Even a walk would be fine as well.
Connor Collins on deck. Bedford down 4. The potential tying run is on the on-deck circle. Here's the pitch. And the ball is driven hard to right field. That's going to get down off the wall on the fly. 1 run will score. Another runner goes to third, and Levine into second with a double. So a well-struck ball by Grant Levine brings home Matt Gilligan from second. Cooper Annable advances to third, and Grant Levine stands on second base with his double.
It certainly has awakened the Bedford crowd. They were starting to make some noise as this inning unfolded, and that really got them into a fever pitch.
So now 7-4, 1 out. Connor represents the potential tying run at the plate, and the pitch is in for a strike.
We don't see anyone warming up for Exeter, Paul. I'm wondering if Cleach is the man they're going to go to, and he's in the field.
They did have someone warming up. Here's the pitch, and it's high for a ball. They did have someone warming up between innings.
My guess is he was the 5-run lead guy warming up, though.
Yeah, probably. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled back. Nice, healthy hack by Connor Collins, but he's now behind 1 and 2. I believe that was, I really couldn't get a number, so I don't want to guess who the guy warming up, but he looked ready. So 1 and 2 the count to Connor Collins. Runners on second and third, 1 out. Bedford down 7-4. Here's the pitch. A curveball, and it's swinging strike 3 by Collins.
That was a very slow curve, and Collins just could not resist. And the ball was up a little bit and in, and he waved at it.
So that brings up Liam Green, who has some power from the right-hand side of the plate. 2 outs, runners on second and third. Here's the pitch. And it's swinging strike.
He got swung out of himself a little bit there, Paul. That's a little bit too much.
He was trying to hit the Samuel Adams Bar and Grill on that one.
He needs to just settle down and make a good swing.
Here's a pitch, and there's a nice swing. It gets by the third baseman for a base hit. One runs in, and Levine is held at third, and the throw comes in. It's missed the cutoff, but it rolls to the catcher. So a base hit by Liam Green. That brings in another run. Levine advances to third. So it is now 7-5 Exeter. And finally,
he is looking into the dugout, Paul. So I'm referring to coach from Exeter,
Kevin McQueen, out to the mound to speak to Cody Morissette. I just can't imagine why they're leaving him in. I know he's their best pitcher, but he threw 50-plus pitches on Friday. It's a 95-degree day. I don't know what his pitch count out. We haven't been keeping it, but
combined with the 50, it's got to be well over 100.
And Coach McQueen, he's taking off his hat and waving it toward the center fielder, but the center fielder looks confused. The center fielder is Ben Malgeri. And Drescher goes out to find out what McQueen's intention is here. I don't know what the discussion is. Either going to bring in another pitcher or not. I don't know if he's possibly trying to have his team regroup. Drescher's looking into the dugout.
I think he's trying to find a way to get Morissette in the game and leave everyone else in too. Unfortunately, he's got to take somebody out, and I don't understand why this is taking so long.
Right.
It really is taking the momentum away from Bedford.
Bedford has momentum, yes. So now here is Drescher going over to the Bedford dugout. He's got a question for someone in the tournament committee.
I have to say, Paul, I'm a little surprised that you get to the championship game and we're talking about substitution rules. They are what they are. And this kind of break and play certainly is taking some of the momentum away from Bedford.
Chapman asking Drescher for an explanation as he jogs back toward the mound. I would imagine that he's going to be taking Morissette out of the game. He can't be making this lengthy of a mound visit. Oh, no, fist bump, so he's leaving Morissette in the game.
That is, I'm stunned. That seems like gamesmanship to me right there, I have to say. I know I was talking a little bit about that in the Dover game. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but that was a major break in the game for what turned out to be no action.
Right, I don't know what the discussion was. I'll have to find out after the game. But so anyways, the reset, runs on first and third, 7-5, potential go-ahead run at the plate in the form of Jeff Masso. Here's a pitch, and it's a swing and strike on the outside corner. Not a good swing.
No, feeble swing with no strikes on you. Masso was the key player in Friday's game, getting the 2 RBI that turned out to be the winning RBI.
Everything working away from him, and there's another pitch on the outside corner for a strike. So both pitches in the outside part of the plate for Masso. He's trying to stay away from anything on the inside part. Morissette peering in. He's going the distance. Masso waves the bat. Here's the pitch, and it's blooped over to third baseman's head, but that's going foul. Again, the ball on the outside part of the plate. Masso did a good job just to get the bat on it.
Yeah, at this point, Masso's just trying to stay alive and keep this inning going.
They struck out Masso in his last time up on a pitch off the plate. And see if they stay out there, if they try to bust him back inside here. 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 outs, 7-5 the score. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled straight back. Again, another pitch up in the zone.
Runner at first, Liam Green was going on that pitch.
I don't think Morissette was holding him on. He had a great jump, that's for sure. Levine now giving instructions to Liam Green at first base. Morissette peers in. 0-2 pitch. And it's a base hit to left field. So Levine comes in to score. They kept the ball away and away, and Masso did a great job of going with it. And now here comes McQueen, and he will be forced to pull Morissette at this point.
Like you said, the postseason this year in New Hampshire in both baseball and softball has seen some pretty incredible 7th innings. But I have to say, Paul, I'm surprised we find ourselves in in a situation.
Yeah, I'm stunned.
1-run ball game.
And McQueen comes out, and again he's standing on the mound talking to Morissette. Morissette looked like he was arguing to stay in the game, but that doesn't work. Once he comes out to make his second visit, he's got to come out of the game. So this will bring in number 16,
You're right all along.
Ethan Mbimbo. He is a sophomore, tall right-hander. And now again, I don't know if Coach McQueen knows what he wants to do here. He's still on the mound, and Mbimbo is in. He's talking to his infielders who are standing on the cut of the grass just off the third base. Now he's walking back and talking to Steve Drescher as Mbimbo gets ready to start his 8 warm-up pitches.
And Morissette is going to stay in the game in the field. Not 100% sure which fielder came out. One of the outfielders, it appears.
So to reset, it's been a wild inning here. The Bulldogs went into this inning down 7-2 and showing very little life. They got consecutive, singles by Lee and Gilligan.
Actually, Gilligan was pinch hit. Spencer Adams.
I'm sorry, Spencer Adams, correct. Joey Barrett then came in and flew out to right for the first out of the inning. Annabelle then singled. Grant Levine doubled. Collins struck out for the second out of the inning. Liam Green singled. Masso singled. And now with 2 outs and runners on first and second, the potential tying run on second, potential go-ahead run at first. And that's going to bring Connor Zenzian to the plate when Ethan Mbimbo gets done his 8 warm-up pitches.
So, Paul, it appears that Cleach has been taken out of the game. He was a starter, so he can re-enter, and he's going down to the bullpen to warm up. And I don't see exactly where Morissette is.
Bedford trying to do the same thing to Exeter that Exeter did to Spalding on Friday evening.
Now the difference here is it would not be a walk-off. If Bedford takes the lead, they still need to get Exeter out in the bottom of the 7th.
I think the reason why I wanted to keep Morissette is because if they do go to the bottom of the 7th, Morissette will lead off that inning. So here we go. Zenzian up with 2 outs. Here's the pitch, and it's outside for a ball. And Mbimbo, a big, tall, hard-throwing righty.
Just a sophomore, as you mentioned, though, Paul. Big spot for him to be in here.
He looks in. Zenzian waves the bat. Here's the pitch. And that's hit hard to shortstop, and he flips to second base, and that'll end the game. So Bedford is defeated by Exeter, the 2017 NHI AA Division I champions, on a ground ball hit hard by Zenzian, but right at the shortstop. Ball who flipped over to second base to force Masso for the final out of the game. So in that inning, Bedford scores 4 times on 6 hits, but it's not enough as they fall here this afternoon to Exeter 7-6.
Well, that they put a charge in the crowd and made it exciting down the wire, Paul.
They sure did. Down 7-2 in the inning. They come back to put 4 on the board, but it's not enough. Bedford fails to repeat as champions of NHI AA Division I baseball. Congratulations to Exeter. Well-played game by them. They had some really good hits, hard-hit balls early on in the game. Morissette with a gutsy performance, just ran out of gas, it looked like, in the 7th inning. I was shocked that he came out to start the 7th inning. I was watching the dugout at the start of the inning and was pretty stunned when he walked out, but they were able to get out of it. Again, Zenzian with a hard hit ball actually had umpire Bolduck moving out of the way.
Yeah, that provided a little bit of a screen there, but he handled it cleanly, and all of his momentum was going towards the bag.
Yep. So it ends Bedford's attempt to repeat as champion, and Coach Chapman and Coach McQueen shake hands at the plate. So a nice win for Exeter. the first championship since 2013, and Bedford will be the runner-up here in 2017. So Dick, 19-1 season going into this game, and there are 2 losses this year, Exeter, so you can say that they've lost 2 games to Exeter, so you got to tip your cap to them.
Absolutely.
Both games 1-run games, but in the end, Exeter comes out on top to claim the championship.
No question. Exeter deserves tremendous credit. They've had really a great season, and they've gotten contributions from a lot of their players. They certainly have a core at the top, but to go 21-0 requires a full team and a full bullpen. So credit to Exeter for a great season. And, now Bedford, these guys probably now know what Girton felt like last year watching them celebrate on the field.
Exactly.
It's tough.
So you look at the starting lineup, Bedford will lose Zenzian, of course the pitcher Quintel. They'll lose Annabelle, Collins, and Green. So the return starters Gilligan, Barrett, Lee, Levine, and of course Jeff Massow, who was arguably their best pitcher this season.
Yeah, and you think about it, the pitching staff. They'll also lose Manny Ray and Nick Gelinas, so they are going to have to. They'll have Massow at the top of the rotation, and we'll find out who they have in waiting.
So that'll do it here from Manchester, the Northeast Delta Dental Stadium. The final score, Exeter 7, Bedford 6. We'd like to thank Harry Kozlowski for running the board and engineering this production, and Dick LaFlamme for being color commentary. Dick, it's always a lot of fun doing these games, and too bad the outcome wasn't a little different, but regardless, still a lot of fun.
It was, Paul, and without Legion baseball this summer, this was kind of our World Series, so I'm very melancholy. I'm going to miss having something to do with baseball over the summer, so it would have been nice to see Bedford go out with the championship, but congratulations to both teams.
So that's it from here. Final score again, Exeter 7, Bedford 6. Thanks for joining us, and have a good night, folks.